Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my spoiler-free review for the new Apple TV Plus film Ghosted. Now, this movie stars Chris Evans and Ana de Armas as, Chris is a farmer named Cole, and he happens to meet Anna, who plays Sadie, at a farmer's market. He has just gone through a breakup. She's kind of mysterious. The two fight, and then they realize, oh, maybe there's something here. Let's go on a date. They have a lovely day. He falls head over heels in love, which apparently is something he tends to do, and then she ghosts him. And that's, the first 10, 15 minutes of this movie. That is not a spoiler, okay? He can't get a hold of her. He starts texting her like crazy because he's a very needy person and a little creepy at times. That's something that we find out very early on as well. And so he decides to go looking for her, and he sees that she is in London. He finds her in London and realizes very quickly that she is not an art curator, which she has said she is. She is very much a CIA agent, and now he is stuck in the middle of her mission. And that is pretty much the premise of Ghosted. I love Chris Evans. I love Ana de Armas. I love the two of them so much. I think they are both so good at what they do. And oh gosh, for some reason they have absolutely no chemistry in this movie. I mean, no chemistry at all. I mean, right from the beginning you're like, this is just awkward. Like, there's supposed to be this underlying tension between them, and instead you're like, get me out of this situation. Like, I don't like them together. This makes no sense. They have no chemistry. At one point, one person's like, you could, cut the sexual tension with a knife, basically. I don't think it's those exact words. And I'm like, I don't know what interaction you were just watching, but it wasn't these two. They have zero chemistry. It's weird, and I don't like it because, like I said, I adore both of them as actors. So that kind of just immediately makes this entire movie not really work, because you can't believe that these two care about each other. Like, there's no chemistry whatsoever. In fact, there's a moment towards the beginning when they go under the sheets, so to speak, right? And that should be, with these two actors, that should be a very sexy scene. And it is just awkward and hard to watch. It's cringy. And you're like, this should be so hot right now, and it's not. And that is kind of what continues between the two of them throughout the movie. Now, I will say, as there starts to be more action, because, she's a CIA agent, and she's in the middle of a mission that he's now, intertwined in. So there is a lot of action, and that is really the heart and soul of this movie. The rom-com stuff, you just ignore it, okay? Push it aside because it doesn't work. And then you've got this action, which is actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of great entertaining sequences. There's one massive set towards the end, a set sequence, whatever. They use a whole bunch of stuff. It's really, really great. And it's very, very entertaining. I don't want to give too many spoilers. But that moment is great. The two of them together, they actually have chemistry there because they have to work together. Like, he, ducks and she dodges and she's all this stuff, whatever. They work together there. Okay. The hard part is they just don't feel like they're even remotely attracted to each other, which makes all of the romantic aspects of this really, really awkward. Something else that I really loved about this movie is Chris Cole, I should say, his family, okay, and his interactions with his family. They're very silly and goofy and fun, and that really, really works here. You get a little bit of them at the beginning and a little bit at the end, and hey, if there's a Ghosted 2, which I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there is, I'd love to see more of the family come in. Maybe it'll be a wedding or something like that, although I don't know, they'd have to work on their chemistry, the two of them, if they're going to try to get married, but I would like to see more of the family, and I can see how that would bring a lot of fun. They're actually really great. Probably one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Another one of my favorite parts of the entire movie is seeing Chris Evans in a role that we don't often get to see him in. Don't get me wrong. There are moments where he plays this person. If you haven't seen Gifted, check that out. I mean, he is like a touching, heartwarming, goofy guy. Right? He is not a badass Captain America, right? Yes, he does kick some butts towards the end of the movie. I mean, he has to. It's the situation that he's put in. But you get to see that goofy side of him, and that's something I love about Chris, because it feels like that's how he is in real life. He's a total nerd. He's a total geek. And I love that, and I love that from him. So it's nice to get to see him as the damsel in distress, and he needs Ana de Armas to come save him, okay? There's some great moments that play off of that in this movie. again, not really the love aspect. It's kind of like the longer it goes on, you're like, oh, I could see them as friends, maybe, like acquaintances, like okay friends. I don't know. It just never really reached that full potential for me, and I'm not sure what was missing, but there's something missing there. The other thing about this movie is another person that's misused, I guess I should say, is like Adrian Brody, because he's so good and he usually plays a villain really well. And I don't know if it's partly the script and the dialogue that mess with his character, but he has a couple of moments where you're like, oh yeah, he's a little intimidating. I get it. He's the bad guy. But most of the time you're like, okay, really? Like, this whole thing is so cheesy. The dialogue, the script, it's messy and it's cheesy, but it's not like, ha, this is funny, they're doing cheesy on purpose. Like, I'm pretty sure they were trying to be serious, and that is the problem. If they were just trying to be like, oh, we're gonna make people like roll their eyes and like maybe have like a half-ass giggle, great. And they pulled it off, but I don't think that's what they were going for. The movie is also like 2 hours long. It's way too long. It's way too long, especially when the two main characters don't have a lot of chemistry. It's like a struggle to get through at times. If this was a solid 90 minutes, I would have been all in, and I think I would have been entertained more or less from beginning to end. There's just certain moments that drag on, and then they have to like, oh, of course, this one thing that's happening is, of course, going to, I can't say without spoilers, but there's hints of things that, of course, are necessary for the end, and it's like the whole process line to get there is way too long and complicated. Speaking of the dialogue, there's a moment, I won't say what the line is, but wow, when Chris Evans said it, I think I literally did that. I was like, they did not have him say that. It is after the under the sheets moment. Get ready for it, guys. It's awful. It's awful, awful, bad writing moment. No, I can't believe he said that. It was stupid. But listen, if you like an action-packed movie that has some great cameos, that is what I will say. I was very excited about the cameos in this movie, and I don't know what it says about like that being my favorite part about this movie. There's some Marvel cameos, of course. It feels like Chris Evans was like, hey, friends, this movie isn't that great, so I'd love your help if you just show up and be in a scene or two. That would be fantastic. And then his friends were like, sure, we'll do it. That's kind of what it felt like, but it worked, because that's my favorite part. Pretty much my favorite part. I did really like I said, that final action sequence was great, and I really loved Cole with his family. I thought it was a lot of fun, too. So, I don't know, I really think it was the lack of chemistry between Chris and Anna that drops this down several notches for me. It just didn't work, but still, you can watch it at home. It's on Apple TV Plus starting tomorrow, April 21st. So if you just want to check it out, if you're sitting at home looking for something to watch over the weekend, have a couple beers, watch this movie, laugh at the cringy dialogue that probably didn't mean to be cringy, and watch Ana de Armas kick some butts and Chris help a little bit. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know. I give it a 2 out of 5. It's not horrible, but it's not really that good either. Either way, there'll probably be a second one. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen Ghosted, let me know what you thought about it. Am I crazy? Do Chris and Anna have like this massive chemistry that I just missed? I don't know. Please, I hope I'm wrong on this. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.